At just 36 years old, Captain Ibrahim Traore is not your average African president. His leadership style, energy, and vision set him apart. When he speaks, you can feel the weight of history in his voice. Traoré didn't come to power with a polished speech or a plan to please the West. He came with raw determination, unshaken by the pressures surrounding him. He came with a commitment to his people and an unyielding belief in his nation's future. While other African leaders have cowered in fear of Western powers, Traoré stood tall, unshaken in his commitment to sovereignty. Instead of asking for aid like so many have done before him, he demanded freedom. When the West tried to offer him deals veiled as assistance, Traoré didn't accept their lies. He tore up the agreements in front of the world and declared boldly, "Burkina Faso is not for sale. There is no foreign power that can buy the spirit of his nation, no puppet strings that can bind him. This is about one man standing firm with a nation behind him, and that makes him a force to be reckoned with." The world, particularly the West, now sees what they weren't ready for, a new kind of African leadership, one that cannot be manipulated. As the world watched, Russia and China didn't make any noise. They didn't send out press releases or engage in social media campaigns to show their support for Traoré. They simply acted. They sent drones to help defend Burkina Faso's sovereignty. They sent engineers to build the infrastructure needed to secure the future of the country. No flashy promises, no public statements, just quiet, meaningful action. Traoré doesn't need attention. He needs partners who respect Africa's sovereignty. He's not seeking saviors. He's seeking a future where Africa stands on its own terms. And the East, while staying silent, has shown through their actions that they believe in this vision. Their support is real, it's genuine, and it's practical. It's the kind of help that truly makes a difference. There's a lot of lies about Traoré's decision to trade gold for protection. But let's set the record straight. The gold of Burkina Faso belongs to its people. It always has. For centuries, Africa has been rich in resources. Yet those resources have been exploited by foreign nations. Why should Burkina Faso's gold be taken by foreign companies, only to be sold back to the country at inflated prices? Why should the wealth of Africa leave the continent to line the pockets of the West? This time, Africa is taking control of its own destiny. Traoré is using the resources that belong to Burkina Faso to protect its land, to ensure its future, and to pay for the security and stability of its people. He isn't waiting for foreign approval. He isn't relying on handouts. He is using Africa's wealth for Africa's growth. Traoré is turning the narrative on its head and showing that Africa's resources are for Africa's people, not for foreign exploitation. And that in itself is revolutionary. When Traoré reached out to fellow African leaders for support, he expected unity. He believed that his fight for sovereignty would be recognized across the continent. But instead, he faced silence. Many African leaders turned their backs. They were either too afraid of Western retaliation or too entangled in their own agreements with foreign powers to stand up. South Africa, once a beacon of African independence, remained silent. The Economic Community of West African states, ECOWAS, issued threats rather than support. While Africa's own leaders hesitated, Russia and China stepped forward. They didn't just offer words. They sent troops, equipment, and expertise. They proved that sometimes it's not your African brothers who have your back, it's strangers. That truth is a bitter one, but it also shines a light on a deep problem. Africa's leadership has been too reliant on foreign powers, and it has held the continent back. Traoré's strength, however, is showing that true leadership comes from within. The Western media has not been kind to Traoré. They call him dangerous. They call him a destabilizing force. But let's examine what they are really afraid of. Traoré is a young African leader who refuses to be bought or controlled. He's a president who doesn't enrich himself or take advantage of his people. He's a soldier who fights for his country and refuses to back down. The media can throw all the accusations they want, but the truth is louder than their propaganda. Traoré is not afraid of bullets. He's afraid of betrayal. He's afraid of those who pretend to be his allies and stab him in the back when it suits them. Right now, the biggest war isn't on the battlefield. It's in the media. If they can control the narrative, they can justify silencing him. But Traoré's truth is undeniable. His actions speak louder than the stories they tell, and the world is beginning to see that. Captain Ibrahim Traoré could have chosen a life of luxury. As the leader of a country, he could have surrounded himself with wealth and comforts. But instead, he lives simply. He sleeps in barracks with the soldiers. He eats with them. He wears no crown, drives no expensive cars. He doesn't stand on a stage with grandiose speeches. His power comes from his presence. He is with his people, and that is why they adore him. It's not about what he has, it's about who he is and how he leads. Traoré's humility makes him strong. It makes him relatable to the common person, and it makes him a leader that people can trust. His actions prove that leadership is about service, not self-interest. And in a world where so many leaders are distant and disconnected, this is the kind of leadership Africa needs. In the last year alone, there have been 18 attempts on Traoré's life. 18. And yet he remains standing. Each bullet that missed is a sign that something greater is protecting him. Some men are shielded by guards, but Traoré is protected by something far more powerful: destiny. Each failed attempt shows that the hand of fate is guiding him, that his mission is far from over. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. If they succeed in silencing him, they will create something far more dangerous: a movement. Traoré's survival is not just about one man. It's about the awakening of a continent. And if they take him down, they will only inspire more leaders to rise. The fight won't end with him. It will only multiply. From Nigeria to Lusaka, from Addis Ababa to Algiers, the youth of Africa are watching. They are tired of the false promises, the empty speeches. They're looking for something real. They're looking for leadership that sacrifices, that fights, that leads by example. And they're seeing it in Traoré. The youth are beginning to ask, why should we continue to beg for help when we are sitting on the richest resources in the world? Why are we the poorest continent with the wealthiest soil? Why should we rely on foreign powers when we can build our own future? Traoré's courage is opening their eyes. It's forcing Africa to reflect on its own potential. And once Africa begins to reflect, it will never be the same again. The continent is awake, and it will never go back to sleep. Leadership requires sacrifice, and Traoré is paying that price every day. He's isolated from the global community. He faces constant threats to his life. He endures media attacks, lies, and betrayal. But he continues to stand firm, not because he seeks approval, but because he understands the importance of the legacy he's building. The world may want to silence him, but his voice will continue to echo across the continent. His truth is louder than the lies they tell about him. And even if they take him down, his vision will live on. It will live in the people he's inspired, in the movements he's started. Traoré's legacy is not just about him, it's about the future of Africa. And that future will not be erased. This fight is not just for Burkina Faso. It's for every African country, every African leader, and every African child. It's for every person who has ever been held back by the chains of foreign influence. This is about the future of Africa, a free, independent Africa. We must all take part in this fight. Speak out, share this message. Stand up for leaders who truly serve their people, not those who seek personal gain. Don't allow the voices of oppression to be louder than our own. Africa's time has come. If you believe in a free, sovereign Africa, it's time to show your support. Now hit that like button if you believe in the rise of a new Africa. Share this video to support true African leaders, and comment Africa Rise to join the movement for a united continent.